You got Miss Shoki here.
Hi guys.
Of course. So this is of course going to be the video announcing the winners of the Lupus for Lupus contest. Obviously I got my shirt on, yay for that. But before we really get into that, and I know everybody's just going to skip to the end, just chill for a minute, because the main reason this contest is even happening in the first place is because of this beautiful woman here and the sad disease that she does have. And I wanted to have her on since the beginning, but because she's a pain in my butt, she wouldn't do it. But now I wanted her to be here to help announce the winners and also explain to you guys a little bit about what all of this was for and what lupus is, in case I didn't describe it very well. So, of course, baby, go ahead and just tell the lovely people.
Well, quickly, lupus is an autoimmune disease that your body will attack itself, and it can't differentiate the difference between good antibodies and bad antibodies. And so it sees everything as an invader, so it's going to attack it, whether it be your heart, your lungs, your brain, kidneys, liver, gallbladder.
And of course, when you first were diagnosed, you were in kidney failure?
Yes.
You had all kinds of issues.
I was in kidney failure, full organ failure, septic, my heart was enlarged, fluid around my heart, couldn't breathe, dying.
Yeah, pretty much dying.
Pretty much dying.
And that was how long? 5 years ago?
It was 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay, 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Yeah.
Just time flies, huh?
When you're having fun.
Yeah. But guys, and this is just one case of lupus, but of course it affects a lot of people in different ways.
There's people who do chemotherapies. There's people who do dialysis for their kidneys.
And in some ways you got to treat it almost like a cancer, because that's just how bad it's truly attacking you. And in your case, we do an infusion every 3 weeks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks now. And of course you're on different medications to help deal with pain, to deal with the associated fibromyalgia, and other things like that. So it's not just one thing and how it affects you. It tends to be compound problems. And one thing tends to lead to the other.
This causes this, and this causes this.
It really can have major chain reaction problems. Sounds like our neighbor's leaving. But, and of course, Zeta has quite a few people in his life. And as I've learned through this contest, you guys do too. I've gotten several emails from either contestants or people who just saw the contest and thought, hey man, you're doing a great thing. This disease doesn't get enough attention. Cancer has almost every month of the year, you know, different kinds. In fact, your mother sadly passed away from cancer when you were young. And of course I've had family members as well. So, I mean, cancer gets its due, but there's everyday sufferers of diseases like lupus that don't ever get attention. You never think about it. It's basically silent suffering. And that's one thing that lupus groups kind of try to help you with.
We look fine on the outside, but we don't feel well on the inside, and we push through it.
So, and as I described to friends of mine the other day who didn't really kind of get it, just imagine your skin every now and then feeling like it's on fire for a while. All of your nerve ending just suddenly going, all of us all at the same time. So
funny.
Yeah, but it's kind of what it does, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like
rashes, hives,
all kinds of things.
Malar rash.
Yeah, and so I mean, there's so many things about lupus that are nobody knows about, and that's one reason I did this. And of course, this is my inspiration, as you guys know. So she's shy, so she's gonna have a hard time. But of course, as you guys know,
I won't watch this video.
She's not gonna watch this video.
I won't watch it.
She's having a hard time looking at herself. But either way, as you guys know, I got her into building Gunpla as well. So
I have a shelf somehow.
It's right over there to your left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your.
Got a cool little shelf.
And then, well, technically, you got two shelves. The bear guy shelf is mostly yours.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you have to be careful about the squeaky chair in the left. Or as we call it, Corey's chair.
Corey's chair.
Because he always sat there. So, anyways, being that she is a builder, I wanted her opinion on the final things. So, between myself, ZetaGunpla, GunplaFan15, Inked Gunpla, and TheKrowSama, we spent the last over a week at this point judging y'all's builds. And, well, it only, at the end at least, it made sense to bring her in to at least let her see the results. You know, she's not going to know what to judge on things other than this looks really good, and you know, she could tell somebody's nub marks up and down. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I will catch a nub.
This is my nub removal queen. Which, by the way, I want you to do the armor for my Lupus.
Okay, maybe.
Because I mean, look how pretty it is, and it's just sitting there naked. All you gotta do is do the nub removal for me.
Well,
okay.
the money goes to...
Oh, yes, sorry.
So the money would be given to the Lupus Foundation of America, and it helps with research and medications. There's probably not going to be a cure ever for it, but, you know, at least it goes so we can learn more about the disease and what makes it kind of fire up in the midst of someone's
because
life.
there's not with autoimmune, it's not necessarily a genetic thing. A lot of times it can just happen. Cancer can be genetic, cancer can also just happen, but autoimmune, they don't necessarily know what can cause any of it. It can just flare up. Unlike AIDS, which is a virus, there's not like a virus for lupus. Yeah. There's just the thing.
Can't catch it. It's not contagious.
There's a switch in your body that will just go off, and all of a sudden it starts attacking itself.
Yeah.
So the research and you know the final sum, which I'm still waiting on all the money to finally deposit into the account. Sadly, it's not as much as I would have liked to have gathered, and that's not y'all's fault. A lot of it comes down to the Eventbrite fees. So next time I do this, I'm going to figure out a better way so we can maximize the amount of profits. But just being honest with you guys, we lost almost a quarter, if I had to guess, almost a quarter of the profits just to fees for that one website and through PayPal, because that's where everything was going. So there was probably a few dollars lost to PayPal in the transactions. So next go around, I'm definitely going to handle the money a lot better. And in the future, I may or may not. Maybe next year even do Lupus for Lupus again. It might be a yearly thing for as long as people can get the kits. I do have another charity that I want to do next year, but I'm waiting to hold that announcement until at least October or November of this year. I want this one to be clear and out of the way. But as I've discussed in a previous video, the Lupus for Lupus store will still be open permanently. So that we still sell t-shirts for anybody who wants to help represent, and if any new designs come along from any of my other designer friends, those will be put up there as well. Of course, when it starts getting colder, everybody needs a Lupus for Lupus hoodie because Steve did a good job designing that one.
I want a hoodie.
Yeah, they're expensive.
I want a hoodie.
Buy her a hoodie, guys.
No.
I'm just kidding. But like I said, I will reveal the final total when I actually totally have it, but it is not as much as I wanted it to be. That's just what it is. But you guys have heard enough about this. You want to see winners, right? Right?
Yes.
She wants to see.
Winners!
Wait, you've seen the winners.
I'm so proud of the beginner ones. They're amazing.
Because she's mostly on the beginner level.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you guys right now, the beginners were the hardest ones to judge. There weren't hardly as many as we thought. There was a whole lot of mix-up in where people belonged. Because some people bought the wrong tickets, some people just said, hey, I'm going to be in the beginners, but I'm going to sneak in all this high-level intermediate stuff. So that happened occasionally. So all in all, there was only about 8 people who actually ended up in the beginner class. And for anybody who entered but never submitted, let me know what happened there, or send me stuff after the fact. I know some of you did not get to compete for whatever reason, but you wanted to. But as for the beginners, we'll go over through the top 3, starting with 3rd place. Alright guys, so the 3rd place winner in the beginner category, and the winner of the HG Hygog is Heather Marshall.
Yay, Heather!
And I know that Heather was supposed to enter along with Jesse, I guess her boyfriend, and he couldn't complete his build in time, so that sucks. But if you get it done, bud, send it to me anyway so we can feature it later on. And I don't, judging by her entry, she said this was her first build ever beside her boyfriend. And I don't mean if that was her first ever build or just first one they've done together, but she did an HG Lupus Rex, which of course you guys will see here, pulled right off of her imager. And if this was a beginner, it's pretty good, because I didn't do this good as a beginner. The sticker placement, honestly, could be just a hair better. You know, I know those toe stickers are very tricky, along with the tail. panel lines are really good, if not a little bit heavy. Probably could have thinned it out just a little bit, but not too bad. What do you think, Greg?
I love it. I like her poses.
Yes, poses. Guys, I mentioned that posing matters, and some of you really took that to heart, even though you didn't know. But it's like ahead of time I did not get a chance to tell everybody what the things were. But if you got a little bit of help from Jesse, that's okay. That still counts. But he did really good. I really appreciate it. Rex is not the easiest of these kits to do because it has so many extra gimmicks and new stuff to it. But that's a very good third place winner for the beginner category.
Yes.
Alright, so the second place, or the runner-up winner of the HG Amatsumina is Chad Connolly.
Way to go, Chad!
Yep. And I guess he posted off of his Tumblr, of all things. But it is what it is. He also did an HG Lupus Rex, which, honestly, there's quite a few of those. It's a cool kit, and it's the newest one, easiest available. Now, he did a very good straight build, because the beginners were just straight builds. Whatever's in the box, do your panel lines, use your stickers, good. What really got him the win, and I think a lot of my judges probably agreed with him, was the presentation. And the cleanliness of the build. Because the second picture here is one of my classic things from my reviews, and it is a high teacher. Whether he meant to do that, I don't know, but that's what it is. And then each one of his pictures, he's in a completely different setting, a completely different pose. So he had fun with it. So you've got him standing there waving, you've got Bartos riding what looked to be some fern or a bush out in the yard. Which is funny, he ain't gonna change much good.
I'm in the squeaky chair.
Yes, you are in the squeak chair. Then he's got one where he's doing the long, pensive out the window. And then one of my favorites, actually sitting down and playing some Gundam Versus on the PlayStation. What do you think about that one, though?
That's a sexy pose.
The sexy pose. That was pretty good. So, Chad, awesome. Good for you, buddy. Alright, guys, so now it's time to move on to the top winner in the beginner category. And this guy was a little bit special, because he's the only person who entered all three categories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he did. And of course, he is winning the HG 21st Century Type RX-78, which is a really good kit, and I hope you like water slides, because Robert Isaac, it is yours. So,
yay, Robert!
Yay, Robert! So Robert also did an HG Lupus Rex, which, well, basically everybody did. And it's a very clean build. But given that he entered all three categories, he kind of had skills to some degree already. Very clean panel lines. Sticker placement is actually really, really good. Especially on those toes and those knee stickers. Those can be a little tricky. So baby, those right there, the green parts right there, those are actually full-on stickers. Yeah. And while the pose is a little bit limited, could probably do just a little bit more, take it up a notch on that, but the rest of the quality is really good. No nub marks from anywhere we could tell. It's a really clean, really good build. So that, Mr. Robert, is why you got first place. So, and of course, like everybody else who's going to win today, I will contact you to get your shipping information and stuff like that, and we will go from there. Oh, in the case of the Amatsumina, though, Zeta will get a hold of you for that, because that's his prize to give out. So, yay! Congratulations to all the beginners. You guys did great. I can't wait to see you in the next contest. Maybe even bump it up a little bit. Actually,
we go for that next level.
Yeah, bump it up a little. Because actually, some of you beginners did get bumped up. There were 2 to 3 people who actually did more than they should have for the level. So therefore they got bumped up, including our friend Ariel, who actually entered for the beginner class, but she got bumped. Yep, she got bumped up to the intermediate class because she did detail work. You can't do detail work, honey. I'm just kidding. Because that's just who she is. However, let me scroll down here. When it was just my vote, even though she entered as a beginner, quote unquote, she actually beat her own husband by 1 point. Sorry, David. But in the end run, with everybody else's vote, David won. So y'all can fight over who technically won that all you like. But thank you, of course, for your support and being our good friends and stuff like that. But that's a good segue onto the intermediate category. Alright guys, so the intermediate category was the hardest one to really judge because there were way more of them than anybody else. I think well over 30. I think the original number before shifting everything around was about 32. After eliminating the people who weren't or never entered and stuff like that, I think it got down to like 31. But quite a lot of intermediate builders, which makes sense. To me, that's a good middle of the run. People who paint middle detail, stuff like that. I consider myself a good intermediate builder. Or well above beginner level on a good day. But this was the hardest judging, and when the numbers came down to it, you can look over here. Look how many people have like very similar scores. I know it's like way over there, but
it's
like
I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, so you got a lot of 29s, a lot of 30s, and then there was a three-way tie for second until everybody got their numbers in finally. And then that actually bumped it to a two-way tie for third. So that waited for one more person to get a last number in and finally got the winner. But there were guys who did so well. It was a fight. Like, we're just like, okay, it's going back and forth by a point or two. And I want to give a special shout out to the fourth and fifth places, because you guys did such a good job. And that's between Joey Gunoda, or Gunoda, however you pronounce that. He did a really awesome build where he did like minor chipping and weathering, and I think he said he did a little bit of panel separation, stuff like that. He's going for like a little bit of an RG look, and just did a really good job. Pushed him up, even did some little damage and stuff like that to the sword. And, I mean, it's a good-looking kit. So, I mean, I was wondering why some people voted him down, not naming any names, but it's not the same. Oh, also, he's a fellow YouTuber, and he actually made a presentation video, which is one reason why I personally gave him higher presentation, because he put all of his pictures together with music and stuff like that. So, I thought he did a really good job. Also, the fourth place contestant, I should say, Jose Villegas, if I want to say it that way. Dude, like, you barely, and I mean barely, got bumped out. And it was only by a fractions of a point in the end, where he did a really amazing Titans version of Lupus Rex. Or actually, I think it's Lupus Rex. So he did the Titans color version with decals and all kinds of stuff. I'll have it on the screen, of course. That one was very, very hard to decide against. Like, I mean, you have no idea what I'm talking about with the Titans and stuff like that. But, I mean...
It looks cool. I agree, it looks really cool.
Check it out. He even gave it a big old cannon. Mm-hmm. And he gave it the dark navy Titans colors, which is a huge color change for this kit. So, I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, and he did the... I don't think he did full Titans. He might have, I don't know. But really good job. I mean, like, you barely, and I mean barely, lost out to the third place winner. Speaking of which. So, the third place winner and the winner of the RG Zeta Gundam, such a dork, baby, is Brian Navacero. Your name is hard to say. Because I think I was calling you Nasavero there for a while. Alright, so he took the kit bashing idea farther than anybody else did. And he combined the Grimgard with the Lupus, which is not the easiest thing to do. I mean, a lot of these kits are made to be kit bashed and thrown together. But to look at it, you wouldn't even realize it. It just looks like a really fancy version of a Gundam. And I guess you were going...
Can you click on it?
Yeah, sorry. So, he did the main torso and body of the Grimgard, along with the arms, with the hidden swords, and then he did the legs and the head of the Lupus. which is really stretching that concept of 50%. Looking at you on that one, buddy. However, the paintwork is so good. The combination of the gold and the bronze or copper, whichever one it is so good. And then that offset with the blue is so nice. It's just like, there's not really a better way to put it. He just did a very good job. He almost got bumped up to advanced just because of the quality. His paint quality, all that. If you'd done just a little bit more, odds are you would have got bumped up to the advanced category. But you would have been playing with some much bigger dogs in that. So be happy where you ended up, man. And once again, it was a fight. Like, okay, so everybody's going to come down to their preferences, but the paintwork is sick on this. I love the color scheme. It also has a lot of hyakushiki to it. I don't know if that was your inspiration, but that's definitely what it looks like. I love the two-tone head with the bronze and the gold. I think that just looks phenomenal. So, I mean, it's one of my favorite builds of this contest for sure. And you dig it. You think it's all pretty. You like shiny, pretty things.
I like shiny things.
She does. But enjoy that RG Zeta. Oh, which by the way, Zeta will have to hook you up on that one. I'll have him email you for that. Okay, so now we move on to the second place, or the runner-up for good old intermediate class. And this will be the winner of the RG Banshee Norn, which I still haven't been able to build, but I really want to. Jealous. And that winner is...
Just a little jealous.
Just a little jealous. Would you like a drum roll? Alexander Setters, or Alex Setters.
Yay, Alex!
So, dude did a 1/100 Lupus, and basically did it up like a master grade. From what I can tell, it's just bare plastic and clear coat. Maybe he fully painted it. I can't quite tell. It's just that clean. Panel lines are dead on perfect. And then he added tiny decal markings everywhere. And then added in paint for the hydraulics and stuff like that throughout the whole thing. And just for the cleanliness, the just beautifully built, and then adding in all the extra poses. And actually, you know, I think I might have people start using Imager from now on to do this, because you can send way more pictures and host higher quality photos than just sending them to me. Which proved to be kind of a pain in the butt for a lot of you, I know. But it's just a very, very well done Lupus. I mean, what do you think, Dave? Either way,
it's very clean, and I saw no nubs. No nubs.
I doubt there would be nubs on that, but
no.
I mean, okay,
I don't like
so
nubs.
I mean, would you?
I like mosquitoes.
So to look at it though, would you ever guess that it shouldn't have any of the stuff on it that it has, like all those stickers and things? Like none of that's supposed to be.
Not knowing much about Gunpla, I would think that those stickers came with it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the important thing.
And that was exactly where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
I would not have known.
The placement is like dead on perfect, like just for where they should go, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts for that. So, but yeah, that gets you second place, buddy. And once again, it was a fight. Like who's gonna take it, because it was points here, points there. So, amazing job on just doing what is a very, very clean intermediate build. So, baby, do you know what comes after second place? First place. All right, so
I had to think about it for a second. I'm tired.
She's tired. It's late, guys. So first place in intermediate. This particular winner won by a long shot, and there was discussion on bumping this particular winner up to the advanced class. But there were certain things that at least I argued that said that he should stay in the intermediate class. And it's not saying that like he did not do a good job, because he did a phenomenal job, which is why he won first place at such a high number, to be totally honest. And actually somebody that I've met fairly recently because of this contest. And in fact, he's been here on my channel. Now, mind you, that didn't influence my decision at all. And that is...
Drum roll.
Yes. Thomas Rice.
Yay, Thomas!
So, and
little cheerleader.
she is my little cheerleader. And the dude went to the nines on presentation. Like, he's running for president on this one. The first photo alone, as you guys can see here, is a full breakdown of the painted kit before assembly. And, you know, he's got a decent background. I believe that's actually because he just recently is trying to get his YouTube channel up. I think that might be his background. I don't know. But he did it.
Looks familiar.
Yeah, I know, oddly enough. It is not... full disclosure, not my set. It is not... He lives on the other end of Houston. There's no... He did not come over here. Now, he also named... He called it Iron Blooded Orphans Hidden Light, so kind of coming up with his own storyline, sort of. Mm-hmm. And called this the Lupus Rex Ultraviolet. Now, mind, there's been other names, and I'm sorry. They'll be on the screen. But this one's literally in large letters in front of me. I can't miss it. So... fully changing up the color scheme, throwing purple where white used to be, throwing
I love the purple.
Throwing around lots of reds. Of course, he went with the theme of Lupus, so he threw in the purple. Now, that wasn't a guaranteed win for anybody, because there's plenty of people who did Lupus things. Even one guy who followed the logo and he actually gave a purple scarf. Oh. But, unfortunately, he didn't place. But he did a very good job. And, of course, there'll be a video later on with all the competitors. But I've seen Thomas's work up close in a review that we won't see for several months. And he does a really good job. His paint, while sometimes looks a little chunky, that's a little bit on purpose. It's supposed to be like a little bit worn, like you painted over it again and stuff like that. Now, he also did chipping on this, which is pretty cool. That's not a technique I've really ever done, but he did a very good job in the chipping. He did a very good job painting the inner frame. He did a full-on detail work on the inner frame before he ever did anything else. He also went ahead and added a giant arm cannon, like you do. It's like totally unnecessary, but hey, there it is. His choice of colors, not necessarily, the color scheme is not necessarily my thing. I'm looking more at the work.
Goes with
the red and the purple look good together. I'm not a huge fan of necessarily the way it was put together, but it's his presentation, his posing, the detail work, and all of that really catapulted him. Even
I like that. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, no, he did a whole lot of poses. He even painted up the weapons. I love that. He painted the mace to match. So I mean, he did a lot of cool stuff with it. But it's just he was on a different level than the rest of the intermediates. But in my mind, he was outclassed to be in the advanced category, and you'll see that here in a bit. But congrats to Thomas. You win the RG Tallgeese, which, of course, as we've discussed previously, won't be here for a while because Bandai screwed the pooch on that one. So, congrats, buddy. That's awesome. Womp, womp, womp. Alright, guys. So, it's time to move on to the advanced category because, of course, we have an amazing intermediate top. So, now we got to move on to the advanced, which most of you probably skipped here anyways because you don't care about anything.
Skip
else.
it all.
Skip it all. Skip to the advanced.
But give the people, the winners, their credit.
Yeah, definitely. There were a lot of amazing builds in the advanced category, and I appreciate everybody who went off the deep end and paid the extra money to get in there. And actually, after sorting through everything, there were some people who had to get bumped up, and I actually found some that were buried in emails by accident. Sorry about that. However, if for some reason you did not, once again, submit, please do. If you never finish your build, send it to me. Now, our good old buddy Andy Tubbs, or Backstepped, his resin conversion kit was very well done. And for the most part, if you weren't sitting it next to a regular Lupus, you almost wouldn't know the difference. So you can see, baby. It's got all new plastic parts.
I like that pose.
The chest is all different. The head is all different. All those things. And resin conversion kit does push the limits of 50%, but if you're using the entire inner frame, I guess it is what it is. Andy does phenomenal work, and considering he's only been building for a few months, it's kind of crazy what he can do. Yeah. So, of course, if you don't know Backstep Channel, go over there, check him out. And actually, his girlfriend, Stephanie, did participate in the beginner class. So, that was actually really cool.
That was awesome.
And then, right above Andy, in the 4th place spot, is Alexander Garcia, or Alex Garcia, or Xander Garcia, depending on how he wants to be called, because we saw it 3 different ways. And, by the way, guys, please use the name and email that you've filled the thing out with, because some of you got lost in the shuffle not knowing who you were. But Xander Garcia did a really cool little diorama, and it's called After the Hunt, and you've got a battle damage.
I forgot my cheerleading. Yay, Xander!
Well, he didn't win, he just placed. Or he just got 4th place.
Yay, everybody!
There you go. But he did a really good little miniature diorama with a Barbatos Lupus that's been in battle. Oh, I'm sorry, Rex. That's been in battle, and he's got some nice battle damaging. The paint is actually very well done. He's got a smashed and beaten Graze that he's carrying around bits and pieces of, that he added wire to show damage and stuff like that. And it actually has kind of a comic feel to it. It looks like it's mildly animated. It doesn't look like something that's straight up real, like that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a... You see that, though? It looks like it's drawn to some degree. Mm-hmm. And I dug this build. I like what he did with it. Not all my judges agreed with me on the same level. However, we all definitely agreed he did a phenomenal job. And once again, it was a big fight to get the top 3. And actually, there was a 2 or 3-way tie for 2nd or 3rd. It just kept changing once the numbers were all input. But Xander, you did a great job. I'm sorry that you didn't win this time, man. You just barely got beat by our 3rd place winner, which it is Jacob Fowler.
Yay, Jacob!
Or Jake, whichever he goes by. And
yeah, you.
Yeah, you get an MG Gundam Epion, which is cool. I like that kit. And also, that was donated by good old Gundam Planet. So, yay for that. Of course, if you guys don't buy your stuff from Gundam Planet, go do it. They supported this contest, and they didn't have to. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely appreciate that they gave us anything at all. So, they wanted to help support the community a little bit and stuff like that. So, his build is a little different. He kind of kit bashed a few different Lupus or Barbatos kits, and he combined size classes, because he did a 1/100 shoulders on an HG Rex. He added what I believe is some leg armor or side skirts from something to beef out the arms. Did some custom decals or water slides, whichever way he did it. Weathered it up very nicely. The paintwork is really nice. It's a little gritty, a little bit beaten up. Added bigger thruster to the legs. I forgot about that. It's like big old thrusters added in there. Just the detail work was actually really good. Now I will say, like, the way he glued the shoulders on over the older shoulder armor, not the cleanest thing in the world. But like the other stuff he's got going on, I like it. I like the added symbols.
It was supposed to come out like that.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, under there, it's a little too obvious, is all I'm saying. I mean, beating up the battle damage is fine. I like that. The posing is really good. I love this one particular pose where he's rushing with the tail up and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a really, really good build. And once again, it was a fight, and like barely won out over Xander. Just barely. I mean, it's literally 0.2 of a point is how close that actually was. So, congrats to you, Jake. Of course, be contacting me later for your kit. And that'll move us right on to 2nd place. So, the 2nd place winner of the MG Gym Sniper Custom is somebody we actually featured on the channel, well, not on the channel, but on the Facebook page earlier in the month, and that is Chris Ramirez.
Yay, Chris!
Alright, so he did a really cool diorama, and he called it the Iron-Blooded Samurai, or the Demon of Tekkadan Iron-Blooded Samurai. And he added some definite Musha parts to, I believe it's a 1 to 100, let me double check. No, 1 to 144, sorry. And kind of like our fourth place, he did a diorama where he's wrecking a graze. So it's actually on a hillside, he smashed a graze to the ground. He built out a really nice rocky and grassy thing, but then he's got the head being ripped off the graze and the oil splatter everywhere, wires hanging out, which is all fantastic. And that's not even to say...
It almost looks like you're watching a scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful scene. I mean, that's not even to mention the custom work he did to his own Gundam, with the large Tekkadan flag coming off the back, much like the samurai whenever they went into battle. He's got extra Musha armor parts for the shoulders and all over the knees. It looks like he borrowed that either from one of the actual Musha Gundams or from the Sengoku Astray. I'm going to lean towards the Sengoku. He also has a samurai sword, or katana, whichever one it technically is, on the back. But one of the more impressive things is it's actually the hillside from IBO where the memorial of the fallen Tekkadan members is. He actually includes that in there. And while she doesn't know what that is, it's still pretty cool to have that little gravestone in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not that's to scale, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I like that they did that. Did he actually include the flowers? Yes, he did. He included the flowers
That's what I know.
and the thing on there as well. So, I mean, he did a phenomenal job. And Chris is an amazing builder. That's why he already had to feature me, if you guys saw that on the channel already. But I love it. I love the work, the paint work, the battle damage. Just everything is just so amazing. So I think I've got a link to his stuff elsewhere so that you can go follow him on social media and stuff. I gotta check out all the different builds that he does. But congrats and enjoy your gym sniper.
Yay.
Alright guys, so the final winner in the advanced class is, she's going to keep doing her hand thing. And honestly, this is no surprise at all, because the second I saw this, I knew he was winning the advanced category. And it is Kevin Hagen, if that is how
Yay, Kevin!
And he didn't win only because of his kit bash, because Sinanju.
Everything totally.
The dude's paint work is ridiculous. He combined a 1 to 100 Lupus with the Sinanju Verka titanium version. Yeah, basically called it the Red Comet. Not only that, he added the side skirt or the butt skirts of Sinanju as shoulder armor. He added the Commander Fin horn from Sinanju between the Lupus Rex's V-fin, converted it to a mono-eye, added all of the sleeves detail to the chest and the arms, slapped the huge Sinanju shield on the back, gave it beam sabers, which don't exist in this universe, threw on some weapons from an Exia as well. Oh, and I haven't even talked about the fact that he has a candy paint job on it, which is just absolutely hypnotic. It's gorgeous. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about why he won this category, because it is just, and the pictures are phenomenal. Did a nice light box setup. I do want, in the future, get with me later, take more pictures of it in better lighting so I can really see it. I mean, I like the way you've shown it off. I just want to see it in better light, because it is phenomenal. I want to see the rest of the work, because in most of the pictures you can't tell how much work you did to the legs. So he thinned out the legs a little bit, which is saying something for Lupus. Gave it the Sinanju's feet, which are ridiculous. If you look back, like barely see behind you over there, baby, but the feet on the Sinanju are huge. And like I can show you on the kit in there how much he really did. But he put the leg thrusters from the Sinanju, thrusters and all, as arm-mounted shields. It's like, what the heck, man? It's like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I know there's a lot of people who are going to be upset that they worked so hard. But sadly, he beat you. He beat you hard. Congrats, buddy. I mean, that you definitely deserve that hard win there. Of course, you get an MG Justice Gundam for your troubles. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but you guys all did phenomenal. The advanced category, the fact that you guys even pitched in at all to throw in that extra money, and I know, you know, it wasn't a lot, but, you know, the effort you guys put in on this level was kind of ridiculous. And some of you guys just, you're just top of your game. So like I say, to the rest of you guys, next time we're going to need to step it up, because if they come back, now you know what your competition looks like. And it's a steep hill. But congrats to all the winners so far. And that's it for this. We're not even going to bother doing the rest of this video at all. So guys, it's time for the best in show. And the winner is Red Hat Guy.
Wait, what?
That's a joke.
Oh!
Red Hat Guy. So he's going to be over there.
Is he Lupus related?
No. He's not Lupus related.
Oh, I mean, Gundam related.
No, it's even funnier, baby. Good job. Okay, so of course, Red Hat Guy's actually dead. Don't worry about Red Hat Guy. But anyways, no. Realistically, the best in show was chosen from the winners. So out of the 9 winners, the person who best exemplified what we were going for, who put in the most effort, I would say, for this contest. And that's kind of what it goes for. I mean, we could go by the numbers alone, which would just mean that the top advanced guy won, or something like that, because that's where the highest numbers are. But it comes down to more than that. Mm-hmm. And I fully admit I totally took over on this. We were going to do a consensus originally, but it already showed that we were kind of going different directions on who we thought were going to go for it. And I said, nope, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and usurp this, because this is my contest, and I think that this particular person went well above the rest of everyone else. Baby, if you would like to announce it for me, please. The
best in show winner for the Shoki Reviews Lupus for Lupus contest is, drum roll, baby, Thomas Rice. Way to go, dude.
So, as I said earlier, this presentation was second to none. More pictures than anybody else, showed off way more of his build. Just the very first photo I showed you where everything was broken down. Only person who did anything like that. And mind you, that wasn't a prerequisite. It wasn't like, hey, show us every step along the way. But he just went well above and beyond anyone else. I mean, even the top winners in the advanced category, with the exception of Chris Ramirez, didn't send in that level of pictures. Didn't put in that much level of effort, in my opinion. The fact that he came in second only to Kevin Hagen, and that was only by, like, I think less than a full point, says something. For an intermediate builder to only barely be outclassed in his skill by the top of the advanced category, showed that he is definitely something more. Now, while a lot of his actual practical skill in the build kept him at the intermediate level, everything else would have gladly pushed him way beyond. And for that, and, you know, he did help support this contest. That's not really a deciding factor in this. The fact that I know him is not a deciding factor. It is just, once I opened that file, once I saw what he did and scrolled through it all, I just like, there's almost nobody else who did this, period. So, for that, he gets to win the MG Deep Striker, along with the RG Tallgeese from earlier. And that is an amazing prize for anybody. So, I mean, he's a great dude, he's a great builder.
That's not like the wife made the bread.
Yes, and his wife
Oh.
made us some banana bread.
Thank you. That was really good banana
Yes.
bread.
And she, I believe she's commented before on the channel on something before. And like I said, it's not. I know several other people who were in this contest. They're either YouTube friends or personal friends, and that wasn't a deciding factor in it because I'm just looking at what's in front of me. It's not like I'm getting paid to do anything else. But the fact that we did raise any money at all, the fact that anybody even participated in this contest blows my mind.
I was shocked for the first one how many people entered.
Yes. And once again, thanks to everybody who supported this contest, whether you bought a t-shirt, whether you just helped promote. Thanks a million to Zach Aurelius, who without his promotion probably would have seen half as many entries. Of course, thanks to my partner ZetaGunpla, who was the kick in the pants and the foot in the door in the same motion to everywhere we went. He helped get us in with Gundam Planet to get the kits donated. He sent the word out to the bigger YouTubers that he knew to help get the word out. And of course, he bought kits of his own or donated his own kits to help with this. And of course, Gunpla Fan 15 or Nicholas Shupp, who is also a friend of TheKrowSama. If you guys haven't subscribed to any of these guys, by all means, go do it. Because they're all great, and Nick is trying to get his channel up. In fact, he's doing his first giveaway right now for his first 100 subscribers. So, yay! Really great builders, really great dudes, and didn't have to do a thing to help me out at all. They could have said, no, man, I'm too busy. And even with families and jobs and moving to Japan and all this other stuff, supported the contest and helped out. And even though we changed the rules for international winners, because we only had so few of them, TheKrowSama said he's definitely going to help out with shipping, at least, because that's going to be the biggest cost at this point, is shipping out all these kits to these awesome winners. But once again, of course, if you guys want to continue to support lupus awareness and stuff like that, you can either go donate directly to the Lupus Foundation of America, or if you want to have some cool gear to go with it, continue to buy the shirts. The store will change so that I can isolate the money from my own show gear review store, so that way all that can just go directly to donation. I won't have to handle any of that money or stuff like that. And once again, when I have the final total, I will definitely announce that in a whole separate video. But you are all amazing builders. You're an amazing community. The support here was great. And next time I do a contest, I'm going to give way more than 2 months notice. Because the fact that you guys threw any of this together in such a short amount of time was absolutely amazing. I couldn't get my own Lupus built in a month because it's still sitting here unfinished. But that's, you guys know what's been going on behind the scenes over here. So, once again, you guys are great. I want to thank my patrons, as always, John, Andy, Steve, Kolby, and TheKrowSama. Your support is always great. If you guys want to help and join the Patreon right here on the screen. And, of course, if you want to just buy a cool Shoki shirt to help out, in that case, it'll be right here on the screen. Because every little bit helps, because she keeps telling me I need to get a real job.
I know. I'm sitting here tired.
Yes, it's very late, even though you normally would stay up much later.
Yeah, but I'm tired now.
She's a pain in the butt, yeah. So I've got to stay up editing this video somehow, and she's going to go to bed.
Thank you.
But guys, we will catch you on the next review, and the next contest will be announced whenever I feel like it. But catch you guys later. And remember, as always, to keep on building.